Good tactical evening. I am a tactical laptop bag, and today marks the ninth week of development in Tactical Airsoft Training Simulator. So, what do I have for you guys this week? Well, first things first, I actually have a really cool system for you guys that I've been talking about a lot in my videos, but never getting to it quite yet. But it is actually very nice, and I'm going to go ahead and jump out of VR and show you guys right now.
Right, so you might be confused as to why I am sitting here at my desk now instead of in VR, and that's because I have fully implemented camera controls for TATS. Now, to pull up that little menu, I just pushed F1. It'll automatically be up, but when you put it away, it will save that state, so that way you don't have to look at it again until you push F1 again. But to unlock the camera, you just push C, and you will gain control of the camera, and you will be able to move it around with the WASD keys, move up and down with the Q and E keys, control how fast and how slow you go with the shift and left control keys, as well as teleport to where your camera is looking. So like if we want to go to that wall, obviously going there normally like this is a little slow, whereas if we look at it and hit space, we're instantly there and we can just adjust our camera accordingly. And of course, if you do not want to have a camera, you can just hit escape and it'll go back to the first person VR control, and you can hit escape again, go back in the third person, and move your camera all over the place.
So, back in VR, you may have noticed my microphone quality changes dramatically out and in VR. That's because I am forced to use my built-in VR headset microphone, which is very crappy. I'm considering adding some snap turn controls so that way I can use that good microphone and talk to you guys without all this stuff going on. Other controls you can do is it's a little bugged, but you can grab the camera and I can actually see a view of what the camera sees and move it around like this and place it however I want. And it's supposed to reset the rotation back so that way it's not tilted or anything like that. But instead, what it does is that. I'm not sure why, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera. Right, so next thing on the list is this dark mode vending machine here. So I have completely changed up how the model looks. I have added this nice little transparent kind of fiberglass viewport for looking into the vending machine and finding out what is available. Um, and right now, all of these do nothing. These are just visuals for now. I will be doing something with them later, but finals are next week. I didn't have quite time to stuff everything that I wanted in this week, so I'll have to do that some other time. I'll probably do that in 2 weeks. Let's see. Over here, it's basically just the same system as before, but just in vending machine button form that are interactable and all that good stuff. So, I'm gonna start with the button at the bottom here. It's the golden magazine button. You can see it actually has the golden texture when you touch it now instead of just being brightly and ugly yellow. And if I spawn a WeTech and a magazine here, you will see that the boxes that spawn down here are golden. If I grab a magazine, would you look at that? It's a golden magazine. It actually makes sense. So yes, I now have the golden magazine material working properly, and I have to fix this for the 5th time because it's doing that thumb bending thing again. But anyway, so there we go. And on top of that, I have also fixed a bug that happened with completely revamping the slide system for the pistol, and it is now the pistol will properly dry fire on an empty magazine. So let me empty this. Here we go. Empty magazine. It does not refill until I take out the magazine. So I'm going to lock it forward, pull the trigger, and it just locks back again because there's still gas in the magazine, but there's no BBs in there, so it just fires, but fires nothing and locks back. There you go. And then, of course, you take the magazine out, boom, BBs, lock forward, boom, there you go. Right, so the next thing I want to discuss is some interaction changes and a bug that I need to tell you guys about. So here I have the A&K MASADA. You guys are very familiar with this. You're also familiar with the interaction with this being a little bit awkward. And that being that when you grab it with 2 hands, your controller just like stays there and just kind of hovers around, and it just looks a little weird. Well, I have fixed that up. Now, when you grab the gun with the foregrip, it turns into a different hand model that is actually attached to the gun itself. And you can move your hand up and down, and you do have thumb control, and other finger controls will come later when I can get that fixed up. And what this also calls for, or allows for, is you remember how this hand would kind of float around a little bit since it was still attached to my hand or my controller? Now it doesn't do that. Now it just rotates however I please. I cannot do this with my hand. I'm currently not doing this with my hand. That's just the hand's model. I call this a fake skeleton system because it's not your real hand. It's just a hand that looks like your hand, but has all the interactions and stuff and all that good stuff. Alright, so the bug I wanted to discuss, so right here I have a HI-CAPA magazine. What is happening? There. Okay, I have a HI-CAPA magazine, and I'm going to wind it up. Okay, you can hear it's fully wound up now, so that means there are 50 BBs in the chamber. And there should be 250 in the storage area, rather than 300. So I can fill this up with 50 more BBs, right? So I stick it in, and no clicking sounds. It's not filling up. But watch this. I'm going to fire 5 BBs. 5 BBs right there. I'm going to pick this up, take my Speedloader, insert it, and keep going. I only put in 5. You know why? It's putting it into the chamber instead of the storage area for whatever reason. I don't know if this has always been happening or if this is just a newly discovered bug that just kind of came out of nowhere. But I couldn't fix this in time. By the time I figured this out, it was like this morning. Right, so this also throws me into my next talking point, which is the grip interaction. So you've seen how you can hold things with the grip button and the trigger button, all that good stuff. Now, if you pick up what I call a lockable item, a gun, with your trigger, it locks. You don't have to hold the trigger. You don't have to hold the grip button. And then if you click the grip button, it releases. However, if you pick it up with your grip button, it'll stay there as long as you hold the grip button. The instant you let go of the grip button, it drops. Same thing goes for the foregrip. Click with the trigger, it stays until you click the grip button. Hold with the grip button, it stays until you release the grip button. So that should make interaction with Oculus Touch and Knuckles a lot more comfortable, and maybe even for Windows Mixed Reality folks out there. So here we are in the reaction scene to discuss my last 2 little bug fixes I have. So remember last week how it was not reporting accuracy properly? That has been fixed. Okay, sorry I have to put you into third person still because somehow there is another camera in this scene. I have a feeling it's the camera from the other scene, and it's just not being destroyed on scene load, like the bug I fixed with the items there. I just need to add a little component. It's an easy fix. Anyway, so here the accuracy is actually fixed. You can see I fired 10 shots and hit 9 targets, so that means 90% accuracy, and the math is correct there. There you go. And the other thing I have done is I have completely optimized the spawning system to use a dictionary instead of this really weird list thing I had going on. I realized as I was just like sitting down, I was like, wait a second, I can just use a dictionary. It's so bloody more simple than whatever the frick I'm doing. So there's that, and yeah, there you go. That is about all I have for this week. Next week, as I said before, it's finals week. It's going to be a little light. I'm going to try to go for a spring gun system, and if that's a little too complicated, I'll try to add a simple battery system for AEGs where you have to put a battery in and a magazine in order for it to start shooting, and also allow it to shoot or dry fire without a magazine. Other than that, let's see, I'm also going to add compatibility to the gun base for shotguns, because I have some really nice plans coming up, and I have to get some shotguns in there to have fun with that. That is everything. I hope you all enjoyed, and happy shooting. They're in the tree!